Welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for my very last guest of this week is this incredible cosplayer and TikTok artist known by the name of Queenlatiiina. So I'm about to add her into the live now and have a chat with Queenlatiiina. So yeah, here we go.
Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey, so I just want to say first up, thank you so much for making an appearance on my show. It's such a pleasure having you on.
Oh, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the invite. That was amazing.
You're very welcome. So to people that don't know who you are, if you can give a bit of backstory about what you do, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Armida. I'm 24 years old. If you don't know my name, it's because you're more used to my user on TikTok. I'm Queenlatiiina on TikTok and on Instagram as well. That's kind of like who I am. I'm a cosplayer. I do Marvel, I do Disney. I'm starting to get into DC a little bit, and I do a little bit of Power Rangers. And I have a blast. That's what I do.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions now. So
Sure.
with my very first question, so I actually discovered you on TikTok, truly incredible TikTok artist. So what has the whole experience been like for you getting to be a cosplayer and getting to be on TikTok?
Yeah. So I made my TikTok account in May of 2020, I believe. That was when I first started. And it was more like a kind of fun thing for me to do just to pass the time during the pandemic. I had resisted getting a TikTok because I'm the kind of person who's like, I'm not going to do what everyone else is doing. But I caved eventually. And I made my account, and I realized that it's actually like making TikToks for me is a lot of what I used to do as a kid. I used to do a lot of video edits when I was a kid. Like all these like transformation videos and transitions. I did all of those on like iMovie in like 2010. So it was a lot. It was definitely a new way for me to return to some of the skills that I had previously learned, and to kind of just have fun with it, and to just because I didn't have any followers, so it wasn't really anything more than just oh, I'm gonna turn myself from my pajamas into one of my like gowns that I have, and that'll be fun. And I broke into cosplay. I ended up like I think one cosplayer just like fell into my FYP one day. And I was like, that seems cool. I'm going to give it a follow. And that's kind of where it just grew from there. I just started following more and more cosplayers. I saw more videos. I was like, this actually seems like something that I want to do. I had previously done cosplays in the past, but very few of them. And I thought, maybe like this could be the thing that just sparks so much joy for me. And that's kind of how I got into cosplaying the way that I do now.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So what have you learned about yourself as a person while doing cosplay?
Yeah, what have I learned? Yeah, I was heavily bullied as a child. I grew up in a Black neighborhood as a Hispanic woman, going to a very privileged white school, and so there wasn't really a place for me to fit in, especially considering I looked very different than I do now, and it was a very superficial environment. So I struggled, even as I got older and grew up and kind of came into myself, I still struggled to see the beauty within myself. And I've always struggled with that. And so cosplaying characters that I have always admired, who I think are gorgeous and who I just like adore so much. And then like hearing feedback that like, wow, you look so great, or like your Black Widow's amazing. Like that just kind of reaffirmed to me, like it made me more confident in how I look, in who I am, and it made me stronger than I initially realized. Like I knew I was a strong person, but it kind of just brought out a little bit more of that from me.
So on to my very next question. So what has been your like most favorite character to ever cosplay and why?
Yeah, Black Widow. I love doing Black Widow. Her costume is the easiest to get into. I have described a little bit of how I get into it previously, but basically it's just one like leather suit. It just zips up and that's it. 2 belts, done. Very, very easy. And the character, when I was in high school, people used to tease me, and they called me Black Widow because I scared away every boy who approached me, which is really sad. But now that I think about it, but they called me Black Widow a lot, and it feels very like it's like my vindication, like being successful as a Black Widow and just being like, this is like, I am succeeding in this. It makes me feel really good. And also I think the videos are the funniest. Black Widow's videos are absolutely the most hilarious that I do, because her character, you don't expect humor to come from her. So when you hit that comedic timing, when you hit that moment, it just kills me. And I laugh at like 80% of the Black Widow videos that I do. So definitely Black Widow.
Awesome. So on to the very next question. So what new things have you learned about yourself while being a TikTok artist, and why?
Yeah, I have learned since since getting on TikTok and since like joining cosplay and kind of like blowing up. I wouldn't say I blew up that big, but like blowing up, I would say that the thing that I've learned most about myself is that I say a lot of really interesting things off the top of my head. I'm a very like top of my head thinker. And sometimes the things that I say are really like motivational and really inspirational for a lot of people. And I really do, that means a lot to me that I can think off the top of my head and someone is like, wow, I didn't think about it that way. That means a lot to me. But the flip side of that is I say a lot of really stupid things at the same time. So I can say I have a lot of like quotes that are like, if you don't have a hero, be one, which is in my bio on TikTok, which is one of the things that I live by the most. Or, you know, if you're having a bad morning, it's like play a song that makes you feel like the main character and you'll kind of like brighten up from there. Or if you're having a bad day, just start over. That I tell my friends a lot. But I also do say a lot of like really like not intellectual things that people laugh at and that people enjoy. But either way, like I'm glad that people are enjoying like seeing me actually learn more about myself on the spot.
So on to the very next question. So what has been the most challenging cosplay to do, and why?
Yeah, okay. So my friends know this about me. My least favorite cosplay is Jessica Rabbit. It is everybody's favorite, and it is my least favorite because it hurts so much. The costume itself is a two-piece, so it's a red sparkly corset, and I struggle really hard with strapless things and corsets. It's not really my thing. And so getting that on and making it feel comfortable for me is always a 0 out of 10. I can't do it. And when I finally get to a place where I'm like, this is close enough, I can start filming, the sparkles under my arm itch right here on my upper arm, and it scratches me consistently. So it hurts so bad. My friend Andrew just said, I think I've heard you rant about that. That's yes, I really don't like it. And also my basement in the room that I'm in is very, very cold. So that costume doesn't really accommodate for how freezing I get. And also the character, Jessica Rabbit herself, is very different from who I am. She's very like, she speaks much lower than me. And she always like has her eyes like this, which I can't do. That irritates me. And she's a very like consistently smooth and very sensual person, and I'm like, I compare myself to a Cajun fry all the time. I'm just a French fry. I don't really like, I'm not like that at all. So she is the hardest for me to get into character. I feel like whenever I film her that I can't pull it off. I'm like, oh, this doesn't look like me. This doesn't look right. But again, like even then, the way that it has been received is just as rewarding. Like I'm glad I'm like not suffering for nothing. I'm glad that it's like I'm suffering and it's paying back for me.
Well, can I just say, onto the Jessica Rabbit cosplay, you do such a phenomenal, incredible Jessica Rabbit.
Thank you.
I just want to applaud you on your job that you do with Jessica Rabbit. So
thank you very much.
You do such an incredible job.
Thank
so
you.
With my very next question, so what has been the most challenging part about being on TikTok, and why?
Yeah, the most challenging aspect of being on TikTok, I think in general, I think, you know, anyone can make a TikTok video. Anyone can make a video of themselves and then just hit post. The difficult, like, what's difficult is the aftermath and like how it's received and where it goes. And people end up like worrying about a lot of like me and my friends especially, we all worry about our view count because the algorithm is not very kind to most of us. It's not very kind to a lot of us actually on cosplay TikTok. Like, to be fair, even big creators are getting not the amount of views that they should be getting. It's everybody who's having this problem, and you get caught up in that and you think like, oh well, am I not good enough, and why am I not getting noticed? Well, it's because it's not getting pushed enough as well. And my friend Ari, my best friend Ari, just said the haters, and absolutely that is one of the most challenging things. And challenging in that I'm a fighter. I don't hold back. If you ever have seen any of my friends' posts or even my posts, I always clap back with something. And thinking of a lot of clapbacks is very difficult. It's not that easy. And thinking of something on the spot that's like different and quick and can just like shut it down as quickly as possible is incredible. My friend Madison is on here. She's saying that her favorite cosplay of mine is Mary J. Thank you, Madison. I love you very much. I love you very much. Yeah, and on top of the haters, there's also like the inappropriate comments as well. The like very like sexual in nature comments about like what they're gonna do with my content behind closed doors. Like, that's a little bit weird for me, and that's the one that I struggle with. I don't struggle with like the hate comments, like the cringe. I can fight that, or like you don't look like this character. I can fight that, but it's always the like inappropriate ones that kind of like get under my skin a little bit, and so those are difficult to those are difficult challenges to tackle when you're on TikTok.
So on to our very next question. So who inspired you as a person to get into doing cosplay like in the first place?
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, I just saw a cosplayer. I don't even remember who it was, but that's how I kind of found my way onto cosplay TikTok. And I slowly, bit by bit, I found more and more and more. And that's when I started to think like, I kind of do want to be a part of this community. I love costumes. I used to work in costuming for a very big company, and and I have my degree in theater as well. So costumes is a huge part of my life and one of my favorite aspects of taking yourself from one world into the world of fantasy. It's my favorite aspect of it. But I saw these cosplayers and I thought, like, where do I fit in here? I don't belong. I don't have anything to show for it. Like, all of my Halloween costumes are away and I don't know where they are, so I can't really just do this. And that's actually when I came across Taya Miller. And Taya Miller, who, it's her birthday today, happy birthday, Taya. She said on one of her like posts that she had gotten her costume right off of Amazon. And for me, that flipped the switch for me entirely. I started hunting for specific characters that I want to do and started seeing how many like costumes that like, it doesn't matter if it's like from Amazon for like $5 or if it's like movie quality for $3,000. It doesn't matter. Like, cosplayers are accepted and loved, not for what the quality of their costume, but for how much they love what they're doing. That's what it's about. And it was in that moment when all that came together, I was like, I'm gonna go on Amazon. I bought an Elastigirl costume, and it just like blew up from there. Like, nothing has been the same since I dropped it like it's hot in Elastigirl. Like, nothing has been the same.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So on to our very next question. So what have you learned about yourself as a person, like especially during COVID that's been going on?
Yeah. During like pre-COVID, I was in a very interesting funk because I graduated college in May of 2019. And since then, my life has been all about like adulting and how to like focus in on like jobs and rent and bills and all that like big adult scary things. I was trying really hard to grow up really fast, and in a way that didn't work out for me because I crashed and burned very quickly. When COVID started, I had a chance to sit down and just like not really reflect, but just like sit in here like, what am I going to do with myself? What am I going to do with my time? And what am I going to do to make this not a waste? And I think what I ended up doing was I ended up learning, like, reconnecting with my imagination. I've always had a huge imagination. Like, my first grade teacher will tell you, I've always had a huge imagination. So it was nice to kind of like remember how active that imagination is and put that into something that ended up being extremely productive and extremely well received. So being stuck with so much free time has kind of given me the chance to be busy with kind of nurturing my imagination.
Awesome. So I'm going to our next question. So what does being a cosplayer mean to you?
Being a cosplayer to me means you're embodying the things that you love the most about things that bring you joy. And when you do that, you also inspire a lot of people to remember that they're more like the characters that they love than they think. Like these traits that we admire in fictional characters do not have to stay fictional. They are very real. We love these things for a reason because they actually have emotions that we can connect to. And if you spend the time to actually like sit there and dig into these things and like embody the characters that you love, you realize that like if you love this character so much and they're very much like you, then you yourself are actually deserving of love as well. So it's about like loving yourself while also becoming somebody else at the same time. That's what's really amazing about cosplay. I get a lot of hate about like, why would you want to be somebody else? Well, because when you're cosplaying, you can actually, especially on TikTok, you can do both very easily. And you can kind of like let the best parts of these characters bring out like things in you that were there that you didn't necessarily know that you had. And lastly, like it's about sharing a community with people who love very specific things that you also love. I find that the friends that I have made through cosplay TikTok, I have never connected to people who live so far away from me in my life. Like I did not meet the people that I love in the cosplay community in person. We didn't share an experience like in real life, or like not in real life, but we didn't share an experience in person, and we don't have like the same stories that me and my other friends have. But I feel like I love them to such a degree that like I feel like I wouldn't have been able to without like the cosplay community.
Awesome. So I'm going to our next question. So what are the positives and negatives into the whole cosplay community, and how do you get through those negatives as a person?
Yeah. The positives are like super strong. Like you learn more about yourself, you meet amazing people, and you kind of end up loving the media that you already loved, but to a much higher degree. And like I said earlier, you can be unapologetically yourself while also dressing up like somebody else. And I like everybody who's on this live right now, I love dearly, and they have supported me, some of them since the very, very beginning, and some of them very recently. But the support that you get is just like much more than any negativity or hate that you can get. But the negatives are pretty daunting. That's not to say that the negatives aren't real, and you're not allowed to be upset with the negatives, because they are very, very real and they exist. And if I brush them under the rug, they're going to keep happening. So like the judgment is huge. Like, you don't look canon. Like, why are you pretending to be someone else? Like, somebody did this better than you, which is the one that my friends and I hate the most, is like, why, like somebody did this better than you. It's like, it is just soul crushing to be compared to other cosplayers, because like, I mean, I have compared myself to other cosplayers before, and the depth of the insecurity is terrifying. And the kind of way that I pull myself out of that is, like, you have to like put yourself in their shoes, because as much as I'm saying, why doesn't my face look like hers? She's saying, well, why doesn't my hair look like hers? And the cycle just keeps going. Everybody's insecure about something or someone at all times. So remembering that, like, we're all just people. We think differently, but we feel the same emotions. And when you like put yourself into that mindset, it's easier to snap yourself out of like, oh God, I don't look as good as this person. I made a video once a while ago that said humans are way too diverse of a species for beauty to be just one thing. Everybody has a different idea of what beautiful is. Like, some people think that Justin Bieber is hot. I don't think so. And it's about opinion, and it's about preference. So you got to get yourself out of that. And above all else, like, when the views are down and you can't control that, when there are things that you can't control that make you upset, like, we have to remember that we're here just to have fun. I was talking to my best friend last night about this. about like, oh, well, everything I'm posting is like flopping. The bottom line is that we are here to have fun, and we are here to meet incredible people. We are here to get the most out of the time that we have. When this could be a very like terrible period of our lifetime if we didn't have this, and we have to kind of remember that.
So on the very next question, so if you could cosplay any character that you haven't before, which characters would you want to cosplay and why?
Yeah, I just released a list of cosplans, so I don't want to say one of those because everybody knows I'm going to do those already. But the one that is not on my list that I have been like playing with is Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Again, I was talking to my best friend about this last night. Like, Avatar is a world that I love so much, and I really have enjoyed playing villains, which is really weird for my personality. I'm not a villain at all, but I love to play them. So I would love to get into Azula. I think my hair would match the costume perfectly, and I'm super excited. I would die to get my hands on an Azula cosplay and just see the chaos that I can unleash from there. And Avatar TikTok was very kind to me when I was there last. So I would love to jump back in and like fully become part of this world.
I have to ask, by the way, because as you mentioned about Avatar and stuff, are you excited for the Avatar live action series?
Oh, I am so excited. I'm skeptical, but I'm excited because, I mean, skeptical because we've been burned before in the past. We have been burned and it was devastating, but I am super excited that the creators that we love are the ones like spearheading this project. So I hope that it's everything that we have ever designed. I'm actually more excited about what the studio is going to do in terms of creating more. Like, I really desperately want an adult Avatar series, like the gang, but like as adults.
Yeah.
And like what their life was like, because like that's what disappointed me about Legend of Korra. As amazing as it is, that's what disappointed me, was that I really wanted to see these guys grow, because they're kids, and I wanted to see them like grown and see like how we go from the Last Airbender world to Korra's world. I would love to see that.
Awesome. So on the very next question, so what advice would you give someone wanting to get into cosplay or TikTok, and why?
Mm-hmm. My advice, don't be what you think everyone wants from you. Don't do that, because it's like you're gonna end up feeling insecure, for one, because if you try, so say like somebody's new and they want to be like me. The fact of the matter is that you're not me, and you're gonna end up like pointing things out in me that you wish you had about you, and I can't control that, and you can't control that. So be yourself. And like I said this on the last podcast that I was on, and I got very aggressive about it. But the fact of the matter is that people are not going to follow you if you are doing what everybody else is doing. You have to put yourself into the position of like, say like you want to follow, like you're looking at this page and you're thinking, why should I follow you? What makes you different than the zillions of other cosplayers that are on this app? Like, why would I want to follow you? Things that I have done to make myself stand out: I don't wear wigs, and my hair has become like, there are huge creators that are like, oh my god, Armida and her hair. My hair has become something that has like made me stand out. The way that I defend people, that has also been a way for me to stand out. The way that I don't like let things slide ever is also something that like you kind of have to like, you have to dig within yourself, and you actually have to, and people don't like to do this, but you have to actually say, hey, what do I like about myself? What makes me unique from this person in a positive way? You have to pull that from yourself and push that onto the app in order to get people to say, oh, I actually like what this person is doing, because I don't see anyone else in my follower list who is like this. That's kind of the mindset that you have to be in.
Awesome. So on the very last question, so what's like next for you for like the rest of 2021 that you would like to announce on the show?
Yeah, so I'll go into I released a cross plans video, and as always, the algorithm did not like it. So I will just announce here and now what I'm doing coming up. I will be doing, well, last night, I don't know if people saw it, last night I debuted Poison Ivy. And when this is over, I'm going to get back into Poison Ivy and get some more stuff out there for you guys, which I'm like super excited about. She is so much fun. The one after that I'm going to do is Wonder Woman. And it's going to be Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. Because Linda Carter, I discovered that not a lot of people know this. She's Mexican. And I'm also Mexican. And so when I was a kid, my parents made sure that I never forgot that Linda Carter, who is Wonder Woman, is Mexican. They made sure that I grew up knowing that this iconic hero is like me. And she did what she did because she masked her identity because she knew that she couldn't get that role like as a Mexican woman. And she kind of was like, ha, got you. And ended up being this huge iconic person for me. And seeing her in 1984 just like was everything.
Oh yeah, that cameo was amazing.
That was just incredible. And I'm actually like very, very happy that my two best friends, Ken Kitten and Ari Creative, who I think are still here, they actually got me the Wonder Woman suit that I need. And my best friend Jake the Snake 375 got me the Lasso of Truth. So I think I just need the boots and then I'm all set to go with her. And I'm super excited. That's going to be one that just is so dear to my heart. I have to look at my list here. What's next? Okay. I'm doing Ariel. For The Little Mermaid because I filmed it. I mean, I knew I wanted to do her at some point. It was kind of a given. And I did Princess Jasmine a couple weeks ago. I did Princess Jasmine, and the comments were overwhelmingly, "Wow, I thought you were gonna do Ariel." So here you go. I'm gonna do Ariel. Now y'all can stop complaining. The next one that I'm doing is Jessie from Toy Story. The cowgirl. She was my first like big like cosplay that I did for a Halloween party, like back when I was a senior in high school. And she's a character that is very close to my heart. I grew up with Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 got me through a lot of really like not like tough moments, but like whenever I threw a temper tantrum as a child, I would go watch Toy Story 2 and I feel better. So that movie is very close to me. And I was in a very, like, when I purchased that cosplay, I was in a very low moment. And I thought, like, I really just need something to pick me up. And I need something that is going to, like, bring me joy in a way that no other cosplay can. And Jessie from Toy Story is the one. So when I hit buy, I went, oh, this is going to be so good. And even if it does bad, I don't care. I'm going to love every second of it. The next one is one of my kids, Princess Fiona from Shrek. She has been my hero, another one of my childhood heroes, like Princess Fiona, watching her like take down the bad guys in the first Shrek movie and just be the strong woman that she is throughout all 4 movies. I have just adored that character so much. And I'm thrilled to see what kind of mess I can make because she's so messy and she's so funny. And it's gonna be goofy. It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be like a little bit of like comedic timing at play as well. And I'm like, that's gonna be. Yeah, my friend Darius is freaking out. Yes, Fiona's coming. I am so excited. And that's just I have so many ideas already saved, and it's gonna be hilarious. The next one, which I've tried on last night, and I'm very excited, is a pirate original character. My friend group and I are putting together a pirate crew called Maiden's End. Don't ask me about the name because I probably can't say it on main, but it's called Maiden's End, and we're pulling all of our pirate aesthetics together and creating as much chaos as we possibly can, because that's kind of who we are as people. It is going to be so much fun. I have laughed. I filmed a couple of stuff last night and I laughed for about an hour. So I'm really excited to do that one. And the last one, which kind of like shell shocked a couple of people, is that I'm doing Cisco Ramon from The Flash.
Yes.
I'm gonna be doing Vibe. One of my best friends at Try to Lip Sync Cosplay is doing Barry Allen, and I have always wanted to break into the Arrowverse. I've heard DC TikTok is incredible. I've heard that it is so kind, and with Poison Ivy and Wonder Woman, I know I'm going to get in there, but I really want to join the Arrowverse so bad. So I was watching The Flash, and I was like, I don't know how do I fit in here? And I was like, oh, like, duh, Cisco. Like, Cisco is a character that I like, the only Latin man in the room, which I relate to very much. And you know, he's so fun. He's just he says like both like really like empowering things and also really stupid things like I do. And so I was like, I have to do this. The cosplay is not hard to put together. And I called my friend and I was like, listen, Barry and Cisco, and he got so excited. So we're gonna, and one of my best friends also does Killer Frost. So we're gonna bring the trio together, and we're gonna just punch this out and make it happen. It's gonna everything that I have coming up, I am so excited about. I have needed this little boost. So everything that I am going to be pushing out is going to be so, and everyone's freaking out in here too, which is really great to see. I love that so much, and most of these are my dear friends. So I'm super excited that they are excited, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a blast.
Awesome. Well, can I just say thank you so much, Amanda. It's been such a pleasure having you on my show. Everyone, definitely go give Queenlatiiina the amazing and incredible support. One truly sensational cosplayer she is. Definitely go check out her TikTok. Any last final thoughts that you would like to say on the show to people?
I mean, thank you for having me too. Also, my name is Armida. Yeah, Amanda is one of the common ones, but my name is Armida. But yeah, I thank you for having me. I thank you for giving me this time to like just say whatever I need to say. And also thank you everybody here who's watching right now. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are so sweet, and you guys have followed me along this whole time and have unconditionally supported me, and I really do appreciate you guys, especially like one of my friends who's like, I went from like LA, who I haven't talked to in forever, but she's still here. It makes me really happy. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you for having me. And this has been so much fun.